Crates of Hope, a True Story, written by Rebecca Prophet. Once upon a time, not too long ago, there was a charming and captivating country filled with people who loved dragons and dancing and red silk. The name of the country was China. It was here that a tiny little germ was born that caused a very big problem. In a city called Wuhan, there was a busy exotic animal market where farmers and fishermen and ranchers would come and sell their animals, and other people would come to buy them and bring them home for dinner. The animals were stacked in crates, one on top of another, some alive and some already dead. In the cages there were noisy bats and squawking chickens, freshly killed fish, brightly colored snakes, and scaly pangolins. Although you and I might not eat these things for dinner, the people in China thought they were delicious, and they came from all over the country to buy the exotic animals. One day, while all the people were buying and selling their animals, something happened. A little virus jumped from an animal to a person. The person had no idea that anything was wrong, and he didn't get very sick, so he kept working. But as he worked, each time he talked to someone, or took money from someone, or handed someone an animal, he was also handing them the new virus. Pretty soon, a lot of people were carrying around this new virus, and many of them started to get sick. After a few months of quietly spreading amongst the people, the virus got so many people sick that some of them even started to die. It was then that everyone stopped what they were doing to examine the virus, discover where it had come from, and to give it a name. They decided to name it Covid19. All the leaders in China had a critical meeting where they decided that the only way to stop the new virus from spreading would be to separate all the people from each other. This was not an easy job. The government announced to the city that everyone had to go inside and stay there for many, many days and weeks. The doctors and nurses worked diligently to keep people alive and healthy. There were times when they were working all day and night, and they weren't even able to sleep. There were times when they couldn't eat dinner because so many people needed their help. And even though they were all adults, there were times when they had to wear diapers to work just so they wouldn't waste even one moment stopping to use the bathroom. Doctors and nurses had to dress very carefully in special clothes and masks that protected them from the COVID-19 virus. After 4 long months, the people finally stopped getting sick in China, and the doctors and nurses were able to rest. But while they were resting, they found out something very sad. They discovered that the COVID-19 virus had spread to other places in the world besides just China, and now it was in a country called Italy. The doctors and nurses in China felt bad for the doctors and nurses in Italy. The leaders in China didn't like to see the COVID-19 virus causing so much trouble. They especially didn't like seeing the hopeless faces of despair from the people in Italy whose families were getting sick. The people of China had a super skill that the whole world admired. They were really good at making things, so they decided that it would bring them happiness to make things that would help people in Italy win the fight against the virus too. One electronics company asked their workers to make thousands and thousands and thousands of masks and jumpsuits to be sent over to Italy immediately. The workers agreed. They worked very, very hard to manufacture the highest quality masks that they knew how to make. When all the special things they were making for Italy were finally finished, they packed them up into 6 giant wooden crates. The crates were shipped on enormous boats, and within just a short time they arrived in Italy. The edges of white papers trembled in the wind as the giant wooden crates were placed carefully from the boat onto the trucks that would deliver them to the waiting hospitals. Once the crates were delivered, the doctors came rushing out to see what was inside. But before they could even open the crates, they noticed little white papers stapled to the outside of the boxes. The doctor stopped to read what was written on the papers. "We are waves from the same sea, leaves from the same tree, and flowers from the same garden. The Chinese had not only sent over a desperately needed gift of masks and medical gear, they had also sent over a message of hope.